Hi, I'm Linda Bostock. I'm a medical herbalist, and normally I make videos about creams and teas, herbal teas. But today I'm going to show you how to make gingerbread. And my excuse for that, if you need an excuse, is that it has ginger in it, and ginger is excellent for the circulatory system. But actually I'm making it because it's nearly Christmas and it is delicious. So for the gingerbread, the first thing I've done is I've turned the oven on to 140 degrees C there. So that's 140 degrees C, the oven is on, because that needs to be heating up. And here we have 8 ounces of butter or margarine. I don't eat any dairy, so that is a dairy-free margarine that I've used, but if you like butter, then use butter, that's no problem. In here we have got 4 ounces of a soft brown sugar. I don't like the very dark one because I think it gives too strong a flavour in the gingerbread, so that's the lighter soft brown sugar in there. In here I have got 8 ounces of golden syrup. That is the golden syrup that I have used, but if you are anywhere in the world, I know that you can't get golden syrup in America very easily, so you can use your own substitute for that, which I think is corn syrup, or whatever your sugar syrup is anywhere in the world that you are. In here there are 2 tablespoons of water, any water will do. Here we have 3 teaspoons of powdered ginger. I like my gingerbread quite gingery, and so I've used probably about 3 teaspoons like that, just slightly heaped teaspoons. This is 10 ounces of self-raising flour. If you're using plain flour, you will need to add baking powder to it. And then on this plate we have a dessert spoon full of ground ginger and 2 teaspoons of lemon rind, very finely grated. It's used up the best part of a lemon, of the rind of the lemon there. And the ginger, that's fresh ginger, that's what it looks like, but you need to take the skin off that before you grate it. And what I do is I just use a potato peeler like that, and then just take the skin off. Probably that amount of ground ginger was a chunk of ginger, about that much, and I've peeled it and grated it very finely. Then I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 medium-sized eggs in there. And this is so easy to make. You get a saucepan, whatever you've got in your home. I quite like this one because it's deep and it's open. And all the liquidy ingredients you add in there. Don't stand on ceremony, throw it all in. Treacle syrup is always a little bit difficult to get in. I'm going to put the water in whilst that's pouring in. And if you haven't got one of these scrapey spoons, get one. They used to be called Delia Smith spoons, but I don't know what they're called now, but they're fantastic because they bend slightly and they scrape everything out for you. So you can see that that is taking all of that out. There we go, it's got most of that out. They're brilliant spoons, they just take every last bit of everything out. Don't want that anymore. Put that in there. I don't like wasting anything. And then get a wooden spoon. What we're going to do with this is we're going to melt it, all of it together, very, very gently on the cooker. Now I'm going to turn that very low, and I'm going to, maybe a little bit higher than that, and I'm going to leave it and just keep an eye on it, because sugar burns very, very easily, so don't leave it completely on its own, but I'm going to leave it to melt, because it will take a little while. If you break the butter or margarine up a little bit, it'll melt more quickly in there. Okay, I'm going to just leave that alone there. Whilst that's melting, I'll show you what to do with the tin. That's an 8-inch, fairly deep, square tin. I just like that shape for gingerbread. And I need a bit of butter. Hang on, you'll have to bear with me. So this is my margarine, and I'm going to put this bit of kitchen towel there. I'm going to put a little bit on there, you don't need very much. And just put that all over the tin. Do the bottoms and the sides. And then I'm going to line it. This is baking parchment, so I'm going to line it with the baking parchment. But I've cheated a little bit, because I've got a piece that's big enough. No, I haven't put enough butter on there, so it's not sticking. You need enough on here so that that is going to stick onto that. There we go. Try again. There we go. So that's all our wet ingredients, all melted now. The trick with melting this is to do it very slowly, stir it every now and again so that the sugar doesn't burn. If you try and dissolve sugar too quickly, it actually just crystallises and you get great chunks of sugar in there. So you have to dissolve it very, very slowly. So that's all dissolved, and here's the nice bit. We're going to just literally throw all this in. Give it a stir, throw the ginger in. Give that a stir, it'll thicken up quite a lot. Keep beating it because you want the flour to mix all into that liquid, and also it'll take some of the heat out of there so that when you add the eggs they won't curdle. It is quite runny, but that at the moment that's because the flour is not mixed in properly. Do you know what? My arm is aching, so I think that we are going to use technology and use a whisk. I don't have any posh whisks, this is just a small handheld whisk. Very cheap to buy. And I'm going to put it on just on the first setting, so on quite a low speed, and just give that a zoom up. Got a whisk, you can just do it with the wooden spoon. It'll just take you a little bit longer. getting the whisk out is when I'm ready, I can add the eggs in there with the whisk as well. There you go, you can see that's quite nice and smooth in there now. There we go, I'm going to turn that off. Oh no, I can see a lump. There you go. I'm just going to feel how hot that is. It's a little bit too hot to add the eggs in now, so we're going to have to just let that cool for about 10 minutes, I think. So I'm just going to leave it on the side there. That's been standing for about 10 minutes, so it's cool enough for me to put the eggs in now. So I don't bother to put them in one by one. I put them all in together. So I'm going to whisk them up. There you go. Add your ground ginger, your grated ginger and the lemon rind. That's it. I'm going to whisk it all together now. I love making this because it's so easy to make and it is absolutely delicious. The lemon rind just gives it a little bit of piquant taste, so it's not too sweet and sickly. I don't like things very sweet and sickly, so I like the lemon rind in it. Make sure it's all well whisked in. It's not a cake that's going to rise loads, so you don't need to stand there and whisk it for ages. What you do need to do is make sure that the eggs and the ginger and lemon rind are all mixed in properly. So I'm going to leave that there now and come back to my tin. And then just pour the whole lot in. I'm just going to give it a little mix with the spoon because sometimes the whisks don't get right down to the bottom. That's fine, it's all mixed in nicely. Perfect, and there's not a lump in sight. So put that all in there. Do the scraping out thing again so you don't waste any. That's going to rise a little bit, so if you do make extra, don't fill your pan up too much. Oh, I can't wait to eat that. Cup of tea this afternoon. There you are. And then that is going to take around about an hour, maybe slightly longer to cook because there's quite a lot of mixture in there and the oven is very, very low. So that's going to go in the oven for about an hour and a quarter. But I'll check it probably after about 50 minutes. That is a fan-assisted oven. So the temperature is quite low and it doesn't matter where in the oven you put it. It's been about 55 minutes and I have looked at the gingerbread and it is cooked. So we're going to go and have a look at it now. And the reason I know it's cooked, use a tea towel or oven gloves. This is very hot. The reason I know it's cooked is press it and it's firm, it springs back, and then if you put a knife through, that should come out perfectly dry. And with gingerbread, you don't turn it out of the tin straight away. So I'm going to leave it there, turn the oven off, leave it there for about 20 minutes. Just leave it cooling on the side. And then what happens is the moisture inside the gingerbread makes it go all nice and squidgy. So we'll just leave that to happen. Here's our cooked gingerbread that we took out of the oven earlier. That's been sitting around, actually it's been longer than 20 minutes, it's been sitting around for about half an hour, so I'm going to turn it out now. With a fairly bluntish knife, just loosen the edges that haven't got the paper on, like that, and the rest will lift out. But I don't want to lift it out because I want it to go onto this wire rack, so I'm going to put that on top of that. The tin is quite cool to hold now, so it's not boiling hot as it when it came out the oven. And I'm going to just turn that upside down, and hopefully we will have a little bit of magic in there. Yes, we have. And the paper will peel off nicely. And there you go. That is fantastically moist, squidgy gingerbread. I'm not going to cut it up now because it's still hot, but you can eat it on its own and it is beautiful on its own, or the boys like it with custard. I don't like it with custard, I like it on its own. Enjoy! Bye!